Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope that your week is starting out well for you, and I hope it continues. If it's not, well, then I hope it turns around for you and turns out to be an amazing week. Today, we are not going to be having any type of spiritual conversation. We are just going to be hanging out. It is about 5 o'clock in my neck of the woods, and I wanted to come up and give my feelings about the whole Watts case. This is a case that is now going on 8 years, and people are still very much talking about it because there's just so much about it that doesn't make sense. First and foremost, I am not a commentary content channel. I just have my thoughts about it, and I have done a spirit talker session with the Watts case. I do believe that Shanann did come through a couple times. I plan on continuing to have them, and in hopes that one of our sessions, it will strictly be her and I, one-on-one, with no interruptions from the other spirits that are so anxious to want to be heard. I realize that there are people out there that don't believe in this sort of thing, and that's your opinion. I can't force you to believe anything you don't want to believe, but it's very real. And I think sometimes people don't believe it because maybe it just doesn't sound reasonable to them, or maybe they're just afraid of it. I can tell you firsthand that I was born this way. I am a human being just like you non-believers out there. And when I was young, it petrified me. There were a lot of things that happened to me when I was young that I did not understand why. But that's not what today is about. We will have that. I will come up and discuss that part of my life with you all one day. But today I wanted to come up and I wanted to talk a little bit about the Watts case. And, excuse me, my thoughts on it. And I thought I'd come up and do this because, like I said, I have had a session with a spirit talker where I was focusing my energy on Shanann. And even doing that, there are times where other spirits are going to grab that attention, and it's just like if you're a mom and you have more than one child and they all want your attention at one time, it's basically the same thing. The only difference with that is, and I'm a mom, so I can speak upon it, it's not physical beings pulling at me, it's spiritual beings pulling at me. And so there are going to be times where I want to talk to Shanann, and there are going to be other spirits that grab my attention. But I do believe that she did come through a couple times during that session, and I believe that the more I reach out to her, the more of a session we're going to have with her. I just don't want it to be consistent because I'm not the only one trying to get her attention. There are other empath and psychic mediums and psychic empaths out there that want to speak with her, that want to know her side, and I don't want to bombard her too much. So it's not going to be every time I come up here that we talk or try to talk with her. I don't force her to speak with me. If she decides she wants to come through and speak here and there, then she will. And I do believe that she has. I do believe that they are happy. I do believe that they are surrounded by loved ones that have passed before them. I do believe that she does visit her mom quite often. However, with all that being said, you know, there was a commentary that a commentary content channel that did a video of hers and or of the Watts case, and there was a certain part of some of the video information that's out there where you see Shanann walking up to her house after coming home from a business trip. And one of the content creators made a comment about how they wish they could have stopped her. How they wish that they could pause time, go back in time, and warn her about what's going to happen once she reaches the other side of that door. I couldn't agree more. Every time I talk about Shanann and her beautiful babies, or I watch a commentary channel that is doing their thoughts on the Watts case, every time I think about it, I wish that I could go back in time and be like, Shanann, no. But there are so many what ifs, and all of our what ifs, sadly and unfortunately, is not going to change the outcome of that terrible, terrible night. And there's nothing wrong with having our what ifs and this, that, and the other, but right now we need to focus on getting full justice for Shanann and her beautiful babies, and we do not have that yet. I believe that NK was involved from the beginning to the end. I believe she was there. I believe that Shanann did fight back, and I believe that she was held down. I do not believe that CW did this all on his own. I do not believe that CW unalived his children. And the reason I say that is, by no means, first and foremost, am I Team Chris. Never gonna happen. But I can be critical and neutral at the same time. I do not believe Chris, sorry, I said his name, CW unalived his children. And I say that because being an empath, you learn to read the room. You learn to read everything about a person. And you know things, and you just can't explain how you know them, but you just do. And you know things before they're going to happen. CW, my belief, my opinion, did not unalive his children. And I will tell you why. Number one, the first and foremost reason I believe this is because every time he is asked to discuss his children, he can't. He is unwilling and he does not want to. Number two, he wasn't quite sure how they were unalived. He didn't know if they were strangled or smothered. He had no inkling on knowing how that happened. His emotions are all over the place when that question is brought to him about his girls. When he talks about unaliving Shanann, he is cold. There is no feelings, there are no emotions about him. He's flatlined, meaning he has no emotions, no tears, no the tone. There's no when he speaks, his tone is flat. Like there's nothing there telling me that there's any type of remorse. It's almost like he's proud. He's boasting, like the tone in his voice is matter of fact. Like, yes, matter of fact. It's not his opinion, it's a fact. And when he's asked the same question about his girls, he refuses. He doesn't want to speak about it. And I believe that is because those girls were his world, just like he said. I don't doubt that Chris did what he did to Shanann, but I do not believe, and I've watched numerous content channels, and I've watched the interviews, and I've watched the news interviews, and I do not believe everything about his persona, everything about his attitude, his body language, the tone in his voice, his reaction is a matter of fact. However, I do believe he was there when it happened. And I think that is why it's so hard for him to talk about it. I think that the way the girls were unalived is not how it happened. They were in the truck. That part is true. But I do not believe, he says that Bella asked him questions and she had said something just before the unaliving. I do believe that is true. However, I don't believe that it was him physically doing the unaliving of his children. I believe that Chris did not do this alone. I believe that NK was there. I believe that there possibly might have been a third person as well. But I know for a fact, it's my opinion, that NK was there. If you think about this, okay? What mother in her right mind, a good mother, one that her children mean the world to her, a mother that would protect her children as far as the whole nut gate, okay? We know that the girls had nut allergies. We know that they had to be very careful what they ate. And Shanann was very, very careful about that. She made sure that everything that she fed her girls was 100% safe. And when the whole nut issue happened, when she was with her family for the summer, she did not care who it hurt. The only thing she cared about and worried about, as she should, were her children. Shanann was a very good mom. Her children were her world. I understand that because Shanann and I are both a Capricorn, and we are both huge mama bears. And I know the personality of a mom, especially a Capricorn mom. We will go to the end of the earth for our kids. We will protect them. We would take a bullet for them. We would die for them. We would do anything for our children. And that's exactly what she did. And when it came to the nut allergy issue, she didn't care who it was. She laid it out there and she told them how it was. And a mom that is going to hurt her children, why would she care if somebody gave them something that they're allergic to? That just doesn't make sense. And there are still people out there that believe Shanann did the unaliving and that CW did the unaliving because of what she did to the girls. None of that even makes sense. And I'm sorry that we still have people out there that are Team Chris. None of that makes any sense. I mean, if she was going to unalive her children, why would she have made it such a big deal about the nut allergy? I mean, really? Wouldn't that have been the more natural way to go versus strangling them or smothering them or whatever? I will never understand you that are part of the Team Chris. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I don't care to understand it. But I'm getting off track here. Shanann did not unalive her children. Okay, we all know that, but I feel like it needs to be repeated because we still have Team Chris out there. So this goes out for the Team Chrisers. Shanann did not, listen carefully, did not unalive her children. I have the fireplace going. So I'm just saying. But yes, to get back on the subject, I do not believe Chris did the actual unaliving of the girls. I do believe he was there. I do believe what he said that Bella had said. I do believe that happened. But if you really listen to CW's testimony about what he was telling the detectives and that whole group over there during his interviews and all that, if you really listen to his words, he's speaking in code in such a way where he's trying not to give away the person that did the unaliving of the girls. For some godforsaken reason, he's decided to take full blame. Now, to get back to my original thought of NK, everything about that woman screams guilty. Screams, I'm a liar. She flirted with the detectives very disgustingly, I may say. She played the Dandel in distress card. No. She played this person who was victimized by this man who did this to his family, and oh my God, how can I go on? No. Every time I watch NK's interviews, I want to throw up a little. She's not a good actor at all. Everything about her makes my skin crawl. She's disgusting. But I digress. She was there, and I don't care what she says. You're not my best. Sorry about the jiggling. She was there from start to finish. I believe that, my opinion, she was the one that unalived the girls. I do believe that Chris was the one that put them in the tanks. But I do believe that he was not the one that unalived his children. We have a lot of people that say that she was involved, but they don't want to go any further because of obvious reasons. And what I'm saying is not fact, but it's my opinion. As an empath, as a psychic empath, this is my opinion. Also, too, And like I said, I know Shanann fought back. There's no way in HE double hockey sticks that she just laid there and prayed. There's no way. She might have been praying, but I know she fought back. And this is why I say I feel like there might have been more than possibly a third person involved, but right now I'm seeing CW and NK. I know she was involved from start to finish. Fact, or my opinion. But I believe that she was. When I say I know, it's because of what I, as an empath, what I'm feeling, okay? But I know for the rest of the world, I have to say, I believe. I'm sorry, I just don't walk on, I don't sugarcoat things. I just say it as it is. And for me to sit here and say, I believe, that's sugarcoating, okay? But for the sake of YouTube, because, people that tell the truth get hushed, I believe that she was involved from the time Shanann got home until the very next day. I believe she was in the house when Nicole Atkinson got there with her son Nick to do a welfare check on Shanann and the girls. I believe that she was in the house. I believe that at the time that Chris went into the house, because he was in the house for a while before he let the police officers in, I believe that NK was upstairs, and I believe that they were trying to figure out a plan. I believe that is why he went to the basement before even checking the house. The minute he let the officers in, and Nicole and her son Nick, the minute they walked into the home, he went straight to the basement. I believe he went to the basement because he had to make sure that the window was closed, and he had to make sure that the NK was out of the house. I do believe that is why he went downstairs. See, even without the spirit talker, I'm still being directed, and I'm still being shown things, and I'm still feeling things. So that's just a tool for me to use when we're talking together, so you can hear what I'm hearing or feeling or seeing. When NK was doing her interviews, and she had, 3 of them, I think it was, she wore long sleeves. She had long sleeves on. Now, this happened in August. It was pretty hot. I mean, if Chris is wearing short sleeves and shorts while he's doing his porch interviews with the new news and all that, and then what was she came in on what was her first interview, the 16th? This happened, the unaliving happened on the 13th, correct? So I think her first interview with them was on the 16th. 3 days later, she was in jeans and long sleeves. No one thought to ask why. I mean, it's hot out. Even all of the detectives were wearing short sleeves. They were dressed for the weather. It was hot out. And here she is in long sleeves. And no one thought to ask why? We know she didn't always wear long sleeves. She had no problem showing off her body. The only reason that I could think of that I feel she was hiding something. What other reason would you wear? And it wasn't just a quiddink-a-dink, because every interview she had long sleeves on. Every interview. The only interview that I don't know yet, but I'm sure I'll find out, that she did that we don't know what she looked like, was the one when, and I think that was the second interview, and that was when she walked to the park and met them at a park and was talking to them at a park. And I'm gonna tell you the footage, the footage on that. I don't know if you can call it footage, but it was horrible. Like, you couldn't even hear what she was saying. It was muffled. It was horrible. But what we could hear, and what you could make out on the interview. So I don't know what she was wearing on that day. All I see now are the interviews that she did. And then when she came in for her phone, to give them her phone, she played this Dandel in Distress. Oh, I don't know how to work my phone. NK, really? But anyway, I digress. She also was wearing long sleeves on that day. That there screamed as loud to me as it possibly could have. And I know that she had more involvement. She knew Chris longer than they're both claiming. I believe that they knew about each other. Now, Chris did say that they talked at work for a while, and then they started meeting outside of work, and we know the rest. But it has been proven, okay, and for all you Shanann haters, it has been proven that NK looked up Shanann. She even looked up Chris's dad. I don't know why. That's a little weird to me. Maybe she looked him up to reach out to him because, and we'll talk about those two things in a later time, but she stalked Shanann's Facebook for a year. She knew everything that was going on. She saw, because Shanann, her business was an online business. That is where she did all of her business on, was Facebook. And for all you Shanann haters out there that want to go, she posted too much. She was constantly posting. I had an online business. And when that is where your business base is, yeah, you post. You're constantly engaging throughout the day with your connections. You are constantly engaging throughout the day with your customers, your clients. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay? I was in business and retail for over 30 years. That is what you do. So if you don't know what you're talking about, then do me a huge favor. Zip your lip, sit down, and shut up. Don't open your mouth unless you know what you're talking about. Shanann, her life was on Facebook. Her struggles, she talked about lupus. She was diagnosed with lupus before she had even met Chris. And, you know, she fought through the struggles of that. And I know what it's like because I live with CRPS. CRPS is another chronic disease. um, that there's no cure for. And so she lived with lupus, and she had a few other things and that she was dealing with and trying to take care of. So and Kate, she stalked Shanann's Facebook. She knew who Shanann was before Chris even introduced. And what I mean by introduced was show her pictures. She knew who his babies were. She knew when Shanann found out she was pregnant with baby Nico. She knew all of this. The girl's psycho, okay? And I'm sorry, but no normal female is going to Google wedding dresses unless we actually have to. Okay? I've been married twice, and I can only think of 2 times in my life that I looked at wedding dresses. And both of those times was when I was getting married. She was Googling wedding dresses for Christ's sake. And then, just before the unaliving, she's talking about how Chris decided then that I need an apartment. I'm selling the house, And she starts looking for apartments for just Chris and the girls, she says. I don't believe that either. I don't. She even went as far as mentioning how she had shared one of the places that she found to her own device because she had emailed it to herself because she really, really loved the apartment and it was perfect. There are so many holes in her story. I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to come up a little bit and I wanted to talk about my thoughts on that. I will be again, I am not a commentary. You will not see any video of another video in my videos. I am not a commentary channel, okay? But I am a person that has thoughts and opinions. And if I'm going to be reaching out to Shanann and her beautiful babies, then I feel like this is very relevant and very important to add here. Because it has been going on 8 years. It'll be 8 years this year. And people are still talking about it. And, it's not going to go away until NK is brought in and gets what she deserves. And it's not going to go away until they get another DA in there that wants to bring 1,000% closure to the Rusek family. And I also will be discussing my opinion on Cindy and Ronnie as well as his sister. What's her name? Jamie? You all are just about as nuts as your son is. But I'm going to go. I just want to come up and say good morning. Wish you a good week. I hope that your week is starting out well, and I hope it continues. And if it didn't start out well, I hope it turns around and you end up having the most amazing week ever. All right, guys, I love you all. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for subscribing to my channel and being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. And yeah, so we will be posting another session soon. But in the meantime, I'm wishing you all well. I'm sending you all amazing, gentle hugs, and I'm wishing you all positive vibes and a positive week. And until I talk to you again, or real soon, until then, ciao for now. Bye.